Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Banh from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual. Prime Minister requires limit transport to control Covid-19 spread. "13 more Covid-19 patients in Vietnam successfully treated." And by me, world-class street food. Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc chaired a meeting between permanent cabinet members of COVID-19 prevention and control in Hanoi on March 30th. More in the following. Addressing the meeting, Prime Minister Phúc urged more drastic measures in the fight against COVID-19. According to the government leader, though the lockdown has been applied, people still travel a lot, which poses high risks of disease transmission. As a result, the Prime Minister ordered every person to stay at home. This should be implemented resolutely without hesitation, Prime Minister Phúc said. He also ordered the closure of unnecessary services except for supermarkets, food stores, hospitals, and production facilities serving people. Officers should arrange their staff to work online from home in the next 2 weeks, he added. He further said a teleconference between the government and localities to discuss post-COVID-19 measures will be postponed to concentrate on epidemic prevention and control. Now we come to the latest news on the acute respiratory disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus, COVID-19. 3 COVID-19 patients in Ho Chi Minh City have fully recovered, said the hospital specializing in the acute respiratory disease in the city's Củ Chi district on March 30th. The patients were numbered 53, 75, and 89 in detection order. They included a 53-year-old male from the Czech Republic and 2 Vietnamese women who returned from the UK and the US. They have tested negative for the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 more than twice, and we have follow-up health checks in the next 14 days. All of them are now in stable condition. Earlier the same day, the Hanoi-based National Hospital of Tropical Diseases announced that 2017 COVID-19 patients have successfully recovered. To date, 55 patients, including 10 in Ho Chi Minh City, were successfully treated. The Ministry of Health announced 9 more COVID-19 cases in the afternoon of March 30th, raising the country's total to 203. Of the latest cases, 7 are workers of Chung Sing Company Limited, which provides services for the Hanoi-based Banh Hospital. Earlier in the morning, the ministry also reported 6 people having contracted the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, and all of them are workers of the Chung Sing Company Limited. By 5 p.m., 25 samples of staff, patients and patient carriers at Banh Hospital were positive for SARS-CoV-2, 15 of which came from workers of Chung Sing Company. The company was initially identified the main source of virus transmission in the hospital. The Ministry of Transport has agreed to the Civil Aviation Authority's Vietnam proposal to limit domestic flights from Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City to other cities and provinces to prevent the spread of novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2.
Domestic airlines are allowed to transport passengers with a frequency of 1 flight a day on certain routes, including Hanoi-Ho Chi Minh City and vice versa, Hanoi-Đà Nẵng, Hanoi-Phú Quốc and vice versa, Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, Phú Quốc, and vice versa. The instruction issued late on March 29 is effective from midnight March 30th to April 15. In special cases, when there is a need to transport passengers from local airports to Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City and vice versa, airlines may ask the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam's permission in each specific case, the ministry said. Meanwhile, the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has asked Vietnamese airlines to refund, change itinerary, and extend flight validity for affected passengers without collecting any extra fees. The ministry also asked airlines to strictly adhere to the Ministry of Health regulations on the isolation of foreign flight crews and mandatory electronic health declaration by passengers before boarding, as well as other preventive measures.
Technological advances, preferential credit policies, and pricing incentives have set the stage for solar rooftop energy to become the next big thing in clean energy in Vietnam.
As the number of solar farms surged in 2018-2019, the Ministry of Industry and Trade has suspended the issuance of new licenses for solar farms. This, however, does not cover solar rooftop projects, which still enjoy a purchasing price of 8.39 US cents per kilowatt-hour. The price point was still largely considered as profitable by investors. Several preferential policies by the state have also been implemented to shorten the return of investment period to no more than 5 to 7 years compared to 10 to 12 years previously. In addition, strides have been made in battery technology that has allowed the production of greater capacity units at lower costs. As solar rooftop technology becomes increasingly economically viable, individual households and real estate developers have shown more interest in getting involved. Meanwhile, large-scale installations in industrial zones now boast even greater potential to cut costs.
The Mekong Delta City of Cần Thơ hopes to attract about $450 million in foreign direct investment in 2021 to 2030, according to a plan recently approved by the Municipal People's Committee. In 2021-2025, Cần Thơ targets securing $200 million of foreign direct investment, with some $150 million expected to be disbursed. In 2026 to 2030, it aims to grab about $250 million, with $200 million disbursed. To support domestic and foreign investors, local leaders have announced the priorities being given to calling for investment in high-tech agriculture, agriculture processing, preservation, logistics, culture, and tourism, tourism infrastructure, transport infrastructure, resort and urban infrastructure, housing, and commercial centers. As of February, Cần Thơ was home to 85 foreign investor projects worth $720 million, ranking 42nd among 66 localities nationwide, statistics from the Foreign Investment Agency revealed. In 2019 alone, the city lured nearly $70 million in foreign direct investment. A survey on salary by Robert Walters said that recruitment in Vietnam posted growth last year. Robert Walters, a professional recruitment consulting firm, recently released the Salary Survey 2020 in Southeast Asia and China. The technology sector continued to grow rapidly, while industrial enterprises continue to promote digital transformation. The manufacturing industry also showed a great demand for talent as many companies shift production to Vietnam. The digital transformation is growing strongly in Vietnam as companies begin to leverage technology and data to drive business. Changes in consumer behavior continue to promote the use of smartphones. E-commerce as well as business-to-consumer businesses have continually adjusted online and mobile strategies to remain competitive. This boosted the demand for talented developers, is said in the report. And that's a wrap up on this bulletin. Thanks for watching. Asean News Time.